Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be back here at TTF. I know we're all desperate for wine. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think everyone knows the story of Maya Bay here in Thailand, one of PP's most successful, most popular destinations. But it was a victim of its own success. At one point, 4,000 visitors a day used to come to Maya Bay, and the impact was pretty catastrophic on the environment, causing damage to the corals and scaring off the black-tip reef sharks that used to call this bay home. So the authorities decided to take action, and in 2018, they closed the bay for nearly 4 years, and the impact was pretty spectacular. The corals started to regenerate, and the sharks came back. Fast forward to January this year, and Maya Bay reopened. The tourists came back, and then it closed again, and then it reopened again. The future of this bay is unclear. Many marine scientists believe it should stay closed permanently. Others suggest it should close for a significant chunk of each year in order to protect this pristine environment. But the challenge of Maya Bay, the challenge of extended closures, is a hard call. We know here in Thailand that tourism contributes to 1/5 of GDP. We cannot simply keep shutting down destinations. In fact, Maya Bay is representative of what's happening everywhere. Destinations throughout Thailand are suffering from over-tourism. It may just not be as visible as it is here, and the solution is not that easy. For decades, tourism was a simple equation. It was about how many more visitors we could get into the destination. The more visitors we got, the more revenues we got, the more successful we were deemed to be. It was a pure numbers game. And as that increased, destination marketing became more ambitious, the budgets increased, and the pursuit of attracting more and more tourists continued. But the world is changing, and long before COVID, I think we began to challenge this decades-old theory of how to build tourism destinations. We began to ask questions. Is the tourism dollar reaching the right people? Is our pursuit of the numbers game negatively impacting our destination, its people, its culture, and the environment? And thankfully, I think if COVID has done anything positive, it's accelerated this need to take action. In a recent survey, 75% of travel and tourism executives agreed that the pandemic had accelerated their need to take action on ESG. And consumers agree. 95% of Asian travelers would prefer a sustainable travel destination, and they're actually willing to pay a premium 40% more to ensure their travel is, in fact, sustainably minded. So what does this mean for destination branding? I think let's just take a step back and remember that branding is not what we say we are. It's about how people perceive us, what they understand us to be. No amount of talking will convince people about what we are. They need to believe in who we are. And perception is built via a number of different factors. Future Brand, for the last 10 years or so, have been building a country brand index. And they assess different countries. They assess the brand health of different countries on a number of different factors. The first 3 factors are linked to experience. They include things like the made-in factor about tourism, the heritage and culture of a destination. The second 3 factors are linked to a purpose, such as values, the business potential, and quality of life. And all 6 factors contribute to the investment capabilities or potential of a country, whether or not you might want to buy products from that country, and whether or not to visit a country, be that for business or pleasure. Most interestingly, though, is that environmental friendliness has consistently been at the top, one of the top 4 factors influencing perception, both negative and positive. ESG is not just about our brand, it also impacts the value of our organizations. BlackRock, one of the largest asset management companies in the world in 2020, announced that sustainability would become a key part of their strategies going forwards. And let's look in our own industry at Hilton, for example, one of the highest valued hotel corporations in the world, is also a market leader on ESG. So when it comes to ESG and destination branding, what does good even look like? Let's just remind ourselves that ESG is not simply about the E. It's not simply about environment. It's also about social, So it's our impact on the communities, on culture, the way we look after our own people, and importantly about governance. I think we all know that those countries that have made real progress on sustainability are those that have national coordinated policies and frameworks behind them. Sweden is a fantastic example. Not only benefiting from the EU Green Deal, Sweden has taken its own strides in the right direction. About a decade ago, Sweden decided to ramp up its tourism efforts. It decided to really put more focus on getting a bigger push towards tourism across the country. And the results were pretty impressive. Not only did it get more tourism revenue, more people coming into Sweden, it also did this hand in hand with ESG initiatives. As a result, today, Sweden is number 1 on Euromonitor's Sustainable Travel Index, is number 8 on that Future Brand Country Index we just talked about, and its GDP, the contribution of tourism to GDP is set to increase to a whopping $58 billion by 2028, an increase from $22 billion in 2008. And all of that growth has gone hand in hand with ESG. So what exactly did Sweden do right? I think it's twofold. First of all, they focused on high-value tourism. They looked at longer stays, attracting people to stay longer. They made it tourism season-wide. It wasn't focusing on specific seasons, making sure they spread the tourism load across all 4 seasons of the year. They incentivized and encouraged sustainable transportation, sustainable products, and they pushed their marketing spend towards high-spending, higher-quality tourists themselves. And this was supported by a wealth of national initiatives, of government-led frameworks and programs that encouraged greater focus on sustainability. So how is brand Thailand faring? Well, on the surface, not brilliantly. You remember Sweden was number 1 on the Sustainable Travel Index, Thailand is number 81. Remember that Sweden was number 8 on that country brand index, Thailand's number 39. And unfortunately, this year we've had the unfortunate accolade of being featured in Födor's No List. And this No List is a list of countries, cities, and destinations that Födor recommends people do not visit because of the significantly bad impact tourism is having on the environment or culture. But it's not all bad news. We are getting better, and we are making significant strides in the right direction. In 2019, Expedia, UNESCO, and TAT signed the Sustainable Tourism Pledge. Since then, over 500 hotels have signed up, agreeing to a range of initiatives, including eliminating single-use plastic and promoting local culture. This year's TAT Action Plan has a focus on high-value, sustainable tourism growth. There have been significant improved efforts on Thailand's ocean plastic waste. We are no longer 6th worst in the world, we're now 10th. Still some way to go, but we're getting better. Following the example of Maya Bay, national parks are now going to close for a month of the year to allow the environment to regenerate. And a number of individual initiatives across our island. Koh Tao, for example, has introduced a tourist fee to fund marine conservation. And Koh Mak last year was featured in the top 100 sustainability destinations globally. So we're making headway. I think that the message, though, is clear. We have to stop the numbers game. We have to shift from a growth paradigm to a sustainability paradigm. This means no longer just measuring the sheer volume of people coming into Thailand, but measuring the impact of those people, the positive impact on our communities and our environments, ensuring that tourism directly and positively benefits local livelihoods, and that we initiate proactive measures to conserve and share natural culture and heritage. As Dr. Singh, a leading expert here in Thailand, so rightly points out, we need to take action now.
Thailand is one of those countries that's pretty lucky that still remain global destinations because we have so few natural disasters and we have many, many beautiful beaches and mountains. But that will be changed really soon if we do not take good care of it. People pay big prices, big money, pay high prices to come to pristine destinations because they are so rare. And in Thailand, we need to take action fast because we do not have a lot of spots or locations that remain pristine, that remain untouched. And if we happen to touch them, we need to take care of them.
Brand Thailand versus ESG? No, this is not a battle anymore. This is not something to be won or lost. Brand Thailand must become synonymous with ESG. And we need to act now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, but we need to act now. We need to do this in a united way. We need to work together. We need to remember that every single effort, no matter how small, will make a difference. And we need to believe and be proud of Thailand. We can, as a country, set a benchmark for the region and if not globally. Thank you.